So this is Baruch Fleischman here at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel, and I'm going to try to get started again with the Zohar of the week, the weekly parsha on the Zohar. The Zohar, until when you get to Devarim, is really mostly follows along. Not mostly, it follows along the parshas of the Chumash. In the Devarim, it kind of plays out a little bit. There's not so much there. What we have of it has been translated by the Matak B'Davash. And it really makes a lot of difference to be able to get into this. We also learn the Zohar in the mornings on Sifra Tzniuta, which is considered to be, I think, the deepest part of the Zohar. And it's really, really very fine work. And I'm hoping that some of that from that Zohar there will bleed over here and give me some more insights into the Parsha. So this is Parsha's Miketz. You see this up at the top. And he says like this, where's it start? Oh, our pasuk. V'yaker Yosef Echov, v'heim lo hikiruhu, but they didn't recognize him. Now this is a little strange part, pasuk here. He says, Rebbe Elazar pasuk, Rebbe Elazar began, and he said like this, Lama ira b'bei ruah. This pasuk, it's a pasuk in Tehillim. Why should I be afraid during the days of evil? And this is very difficult for me to understand. I'm going to bring in the art scroll in a minute. He says, Ra avon akevai yisubeni. So he says, avon to me means sin of my heels or the bottom of my feet. Yisubeni surround me. Now the art scroll translates this. This is number 6. Let me turn this off. Oh, it's still okay. Where's number 6? There it is. Why should I be fearful in days of evil when the injunctions that I trod upon, it means he steps on them, will surround me? Now that sounds like a contradiction. In other words, if the injunctions, which are things that are important, and you're treading on them, he says, why should I be afraid? So obviously you should be afraid. So let's see, is that what he means? And we'll look at the Mount Mikdevash a little bit on this too. So again, V'yiskar Yosef as Echa v'heim lo hikiruhu, but they didn't recognize him. Then it says Rebbe Elazar pasach v'amar. So this is the language of the Zohar. The Zohar likes to take one of the Tanaim that were in the Chevra of Rebbe Shimon, and he says, so he reads, this is his son Rebbe Elazar. He opened and said. Now I'm assuming it means that he opened the conversation. Lama ira b'mei ruah. Why should I be fearful in the evil times? We understand the world's dangerous. Avon akevai yisuveni. He says the sin, that's where I translated that of my heels, things I trod upon, yisuveni, they surround me. Now I'm not sure how this goes together or if I translate it right, but let's see. Tochazi, he says, come and see. Tlas inen, there are 3. The dachlim v'lo yadin b'ma the dachlim. So those are 3 that are fearful, but they don't know from what they fear. In other words, they're frightened about something, but they don't know what the thing is. And this has been explained and discussed. But there's a person who's afraid, but he doesn't know what he's afraid of. Begin to inun chatoy, because of those sins, the lo yada, that he doesn't know about, that he tried upon. In other words, they're in his past, The inun chatoyim v'lochav ashgach b'chon, that they're sins, but he doesn't pay attention to them, they're gone. V'yichu dachel mimei ra, and that causes him to be afraid that evil things will come. Now that's the Fleischman here interpretation here, you old Saba here. So let's see what the Matuk B'Davash has to say about this. I don't know how much time we got. We have a little bit more time here. V'yaker Yosef as Echov. So Yosef, he recognized his brothers, V'heim lo hikiruhu. Now it seems to me that I would say that this, so he's going to explain that this idea that they didn't recognize him, is really to tell you that, that was their old sin, that's something they tried upon. And maybe that's what he means. They didn't recognize him, but he recognized them. He knows what they did to him. Rebbe Elazar pasuk v'amar Rabbi Hakdim lefarish mashakasa. Let's work on this pasuk. He says, Lama ira b'meirah. Why should it happen in days of evil? Avo nekeva yisuveni. The sins of my heels, they're surrounding me. He says, v'amar tachad zekam zitlas in, and there are three the dochlin that are afraid. Lo yadim b'mad the dochlin. Bav reish lo shehem mefachadech ve'enun yodim b'mad mefachadeh. And they don't know what they're afraid of. Now we've talked about it. There's a Zohar over there. He says, so one is a person who cuts his fingernails. Beis amagaleach sarosav, a person who shaves off in some way galeach, all of his hair. And then the next one, a makis dam, a person who gives blood. He said they used to let blood. It was supposed to be a cure. That these three, if you don't wash your hands after you do them, nofel aleichem pachat, but they don't know from where. Also, a very interesting idea. This is a Zohar kind of idea. The Matak Medavash is Hasidic, so his interpretations are very they tend this way. Because there are those who are afraid, but they don't know what they're afraid of. Begin inun chatoy because of the sins. The lo yada the inun chatoy v'doch v'ashgach b'chu. He said b'shvil elu hachatoyim, because of those sins. Sha'adan dash be'ekevav, he tramples them with his heels. Ve'enu yudea, and he doesn't remember them. He doesn't know about them anymore. They're gone. He's a different man. But that they're not really considered in his eyes to be anything. And so therefore, they don't recognize Joseph. So therefore, Mashgiach, there's siva the shuv aleichem, to come back on those ideas, or those fears. Bihu dochom b'mei ra, and the person for whom mefacheh b'mei ra, and he's afraid that something's coming that's going to be bad. Let me get a little drink here. We have a little bit more time. Maybe we could do one more. I don't know. So that's the way it is with us. So now the Zohar asks this question. Man inun yemei ra. What are these that are the evil days? What evil days are you talking about? Inun yomin. These are the days. The inun is damnam bahaku ra. There are days, and as the world turns, that you're going to want, waiting for you is that some bad thing. And then he says, man inun. Who are they? Da Yetzahara. That's your animal instinct, your libido. Dihu akrech ra, ek ikre ra. That this, he says, the evil inclination is called evil. V'is le yomin yudiyim, and it has certain days. This is the deeper idea here. Certain destined days. This Yehiv Alecha B'Rishus Ba'alma, that he had Rishus, that he has, that is given to him the power, permission to exercise that power in the world. I'm not sure what asta means, but it's not good. Lie in wait, something like that. We'll see the Matak B'Davash. Okay. Lying away for all those the misave archaichu who have made tome their path in life. The man the asi the astaav of misayevle, that a person, here's what it comes like, the person wants to make himself impure, he gets help. So there's the reveilin inan ikrun yumei ra. Those are what is called bad days, evil days of evil, when you turn towards your evil inclination and go that way. Ve'ilin mamanan al inin chovim, and then there are those who are appointed over your sins. The dashim behu, that you've been sitting, trampling on, and you don't care about them. B'nei nasha b'akvayhu, that other people, they trample on them with their heels. I'm not sure what all of that meant. Just a general idea. Let me see if this will help. Okay, it's a little bit better. So this is the Matik B'Devash. Mefarish man inun yemei raw. He said, "Ve'ilun inun yomim de'ilun is damim b'haku raw. Eloheim hayomim shehem mezumanim l'shlitas raw." So the control of raw is going to happen there on these certain days. Now, this to me, from an astrological point of view, an astronomical point of view, is that the world is turning, and it keeps changing into different possibilities inside of you and outside of you. This is just the concept. Your blood is going in a circle. Everything in you is going in a circle. And eventually you're going to come into a point in the circle where Muzuman and the Shlitas of Ruah, that there's going to be a place there where you are going to be seduced into Ruah. Aman Inan, what do we say other day? Ruah da Yetzahara, that's our Yetzahara, the Ikri Ruah. He says Zehu Yetzahara, which is called evil. Ve'is le yomem yedin is yehiv v'dechab rishus ba'alma. Translation: Sheyesh lo yomem yeduan, there are known days. Shenitin lo rishus ba'olam, that he has permission, he has the right in the world to have shlita. La sto l'kol inan de'asa'am v'chevachaychu, so the sto must mean to make lahatos, to seduce, to turn off the path, the proper path. Lahatos b'derek hayashar, to stray from the path, derek hayashar. The call elo shemitameim darkehem, and for all of those who make Tommy their derech. So he said lahatos b'derek hayashar, to cause a person to stray from the derek of Yashar. What is that? What is it that causes us to stray? That is the call, Elu, that is all of those people, Shemitayim Darkechem, that want to go in the way of bringing Tuma, which is what? The Yetzer Hara, going the way of your bodily lusts. The man, the answer, the Sta'avah, because we have a phrase, Mi Shabbat Lahitame, because a person gets inclined towards thinking about, breathing in, so to speak, the spirit of the other side. And there he's on the path, Lahitame, Metameyim also. If he gets deep into it, he becomes Tame. Vilun Inan Ikrun Yemei Ruah. That's what's called the days of evil. So Ve'ilan Mamanen Al Inan Chovin the Darshu Bahu B'nei Nasha Bachvaihu. Now this is a little hard for me to understand this. I would translate it, Ve'ilan Mamanem, and then they are appointed. I don't know who's the they. Al inan chovim, and those sins, the dashin baku, that you trampled on, that people trample on, b'nei nasha b'chavayu. So let's see what it says. Ve'elu memonim, so they are appointed. Then I guess he means your sins. Ve'ha'anish, to punish. Al osim ravonos, to really, I guess he's talking once again here. No, I want to take back my thinking. He's talking about the Yetzer Hara. Not only does the Yetzer Hara entice a person to go down the wrong road, and then he does go down the wrong road, because the more you get on that road, the more it will take you to that. Then he takes it back. Then the Yetzer Hara itself, or the deeds that you did, so then the Yetzer Hara is appointed. That's where I was getting off this word, appointed, to punish al osem avonos, on those sins, shebnei adam, that man, dashim be'ikvehem, they trample on with their heels. In other words, again, the idea that we forgot what we did, or we don't want to really face it. It's a very interesting thing about this parsha. The brothers have to face Yosef, and they don't even realize it, because that was the old Yosef. So anyway, let's see. Lama ira b'mei ruah. Why should this happen in the days of evil? Pirish. Lama ira ma'osa v'yamim. Why should it happen on those days? Shenikroim yemei ra, which are called the days of evil. Shechasantan sholas b'sholet bechem, that the Satan now is your seducer and your judge. And there he has shlita. He's controlling. Those are the days we're talking about. The she'avon akeva yusaveni, because the sins that are underneath my feet, they surround me. Shehi maravonos she'adam dash ba'akavav. This is the Adam dash, he tramples on, he steps on. All of the sins that he did, they're in the past. But they never really stop being around you anyway. That's the Zohar here. This end of week Zohar, I was glad that I'm able to look at this. I really get a lot out of it. I hope that some of it was helpful to you. This is Baruch Fleischman. I'm at the Tikkun Elevator Kola.